I'm Staff Sergeant Josh Hauser in Los Angeles, and we are here at the Wiltern to speak with British superstar James Blunt. Now we're going to talk to him about his new album and his military service, which even included a tour protecting the Queen. Let's go talk to him.
It's 72 degrees, zero chance of rain. It's been a perfect day.
James, thanks so much for inviting us out here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, new album out, new singles. Can you tell us a little bit about it and what fans can expect to hear as you go on the road?
Yeah, you know, I'm known for a couple of miserable, sad, slow songs, and actually this album is much more upbeat and energetic, and rather than being the, miserable troubadour on an acoustic, I'm on an electric with a band, and we're rocking out and we're having fun.
I specifically told a buddy, I got to go out to LA to interview James Blunt, and he said, his songs always make me sad. Could you tell him to sing something nice? So this is the album,
This
right?
is the one, exactly, So I don't know if you guys have heard on the radio, we've had a song called Stay the Night, which is upbeat and fun. I wrote it with a guy called Ryan Tedder from One Republic, and Bob Marley, who was pretty cool. Next album, I'm working with Jimi Hendrix. And then we've got another song out called I'll Be Your Man, and it's my gay anthem.
We're all spinning on our heels, so far away from real, in California.
You mentioned before that you had actually recorded your first two albums here. What keeps you coming back?
Yeah, actually, LA, I suppose, is one of the places, the rest of the world thinks it's a shallow place, and of course, I like a bit of shallow occasionally, but at the same time, it's got great depth, it's got really amazing studios, great musicians here, and that's why I recorded my first two albums here. And you know what, if the weather works too, why not? And then, Southern California as a whole, it was nice. I was in San Diego last night, which obviously, I got home for the Marine Corps, I think, isn't it, down there? It's got,
Absolutely.
got some good bases.
Swapping over with Marines
yeah,
down there.
absolutely, and so for me, it's a great fun place to visit.
And you were actually on Dancing with the Stars, right? What is that like? Is that just like any other venue, or do you got to behave yourself a litdo bit more when you're in something like that?
Fortunately, I wasn't dancing because I have two left feet. But yeah, I get up and I, do my thing while a couple of pro dancers do their thing with very few clothes on in front of me, and I try and keep a straight face.
And if this is what we've got, then what we've got is gold. We're shining bright and I want you to know.
When you're touring, as we heard you say earlier, you're on a tour bus, a bunch of guys. It's terrible, cramped quarters, right? But you are used to that type of thing because you served in the British military. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah,
like?
exactly. I'm Captain Blunt, House of Cavalry Lifeguards. I was in reconnaissance. We were in scimitar tanks. So my tour bus is a little bit better than living in a scimitar.
Yeah, but the only problem is with the tank, you don't have to stop for the traffic. LA freeways can be terrible. If you had the scimitar,
it would be
blast
clear.
right through there, right?
Yeah, that's a good thinking. Maybe next tour I could sort of a mixed combo.
You put so much emotion into all of your music and your songs. Is there any of that from your time in the military, those emotions that come out with all of us when we serve? I know you were in Kosovo. Does any of that bleed through to it?
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote a song. I was in Kosovo in '99, and I was doing the bombing as a reconnaissance soldier, and then stayed there as well during the peace campaign. I wrote a song out there called No Bravery, which just describes exactly the sights and sounds that we can all relate to, those who've been on operations, as I know you have. And then a song called Cry, which is about the kind of relationships you build as people who look after each other, as a team within that. And then, even now, I write songs that have little references that as a soldier or a Marine, you'd clock onto them, you'd understand what I was talking about. Maybe people, long-haired civvies wouldn't necessarily get it, but there are little references along the way.
Well, what's funny is all of us in uniform usually dream of the day that we can once again have long hair and be in cities, do we not?
Yeah, I know. The first thing I did was just forget shaving for a bit. But, my mum's caught up with me and she's told me to get shaving again.
Well, that's all of our buddies. They get out and they just have to grow this mountain man beard right off the bat. But yeah, they get all cleared up and out of the way. You said you got this really cool job near the end of your initial enlistment. Can you tell me about that again?
Yeah. I was in for 6 years in total. I was only supposed to be in for 4 years, and then the final job they offered me after Kosovo, they said, "Do you want to come and be the Queen's bodyguard up in London as during her ceremonial work?" So I said, "Sure, that sounds fun." And what it meant was that when you see her riding in a carriage, I was the guy sitting beside her on a horse, with a helmet, plume, armour, and a sword, mic'd up to the police, and and I rode beside her whenever she was out and about.
And word is, when James Blunt was out on the street, she had never been so safe. That's what we hear over here in the States.
Absolutely. 2 years, no one invaded Britain during that time. They all slept well under the blanket of my security.
If this is what we've got, then what we've got is gold. We're shining bright and I want you to know.
Our countries serving together overseas, whether it be in a combat zone or different training areas. Anything to those guys watching that you might like to tell them?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my experiences of being in the military, but also working alongside other armies and the American Army, has been a really close one, and many, you know, amazing memories that you get. And to you guys, thanks so much for what you do. Keep your heads down, come home safe, and Godspeed.
The morning's on its way. Our friends all say goodbye. There's nowhere else to go. I hope that you'll stay tonight.
James Blunt, thank you so much again. We really appreciate it. Have a great show tonight. If you want to see this command performance again or any of our others, just log on to PentagonChannel.mil.